As you can see, the landscape here at Empty Mountain has changed considerably since our last video. Such is the way of things sometimes. So today is Sunday, December 14th. And the first week of December over the course of that week we got like 9 inches of snow. And then that was followed by 7 straight days of rain. Like not straight rain that whole time, but like considerable rain every day for 7 days. Which is why there is now no snow left. And it feels like a whole different season here, kind of, now that the ground is exposed. Because I was kind of thinking the 9 inches of snow the first week of December, I kind of thought we'd be in snow, you know, until April. Until the springtime. Turns out not the case. But I guess this coming week we're going to get more rain and more snow. So anyway, yeah, so I thought I would take a video. Mike and I were actually going to do a video update about the sauna building. And then other projects took hold. So this weekend has been dry and also sunny. We've had sun. Which is something to say because here in western Montana, overcast is mostly our weather pattern for the whole of winter. So like direct sun, we get very little of that over the winter. So anytime the sun comes out, it's a glorious time. So so we were capitalizing on the sun being out and some projects to get ready for the upcoming rain and snow. So anyway, that meant that other things took priority over doing a sauna video update. But I thought I would just kind of turn the camera on and start saying things and see how it goes. Mike actually just went to what I like to call Little T-Town, which is the town that's like a 10-minute drive from here, which is wonderful. They have a lot of things there for a really small town. And I think, what is there, like 800 people, I think that town has. It's a lovely town. And then Big T-Town, that's what I call Missoula, that's an hour away. Anyway, so he just went to Little T-Town to get some plumbing fittings. This poor guy, oh my gosh. This shower of ours has been, just continues to be an adventure to figure out. And what I get from my limited understanding of all the different building projects and things that Mike wonderfully does and knows how to do. What I get from all this is that like plumbing is one of the hardest like things to like, I don't know, there's an art of plumbing, and so to all you plumbers out there, thank you for doing what you do, because it seems like it's tricky business, even though like, anyway, you know, like with this system there doesn't seem to be a lot to it, but there's enough where like all these different fittings. So this is our shower hot water unit. So this is an instant hot water unit that we've been very happy with. So it hooks up to propane and this battery, and here's our pump. So the pump brings up the water, the battery operates the pump, the propane heats the water, and it all moves through this thing to our shower heads. So right now, because these barrels are empty, because of winter and we don't want those freezing, we're operating from just a 5-gallon bucket. So we stick, as you can see, just like the water hose in here. And so anyway, this all hooks up together, and Mike just got new fittings because we're having a lot of air intake where we didn't want it, and so it was really causing it to be sluggish and the pump to not work right because it was just bringing in a lot of air. So we just got all these new fittings that he was like super stoked at working and like improving the system, but for some reason like the fittings are not the right fittings, and like it wasn't even pumping any water when we just tried to fire it up. So we went to Little T-Town, which does have an Ace Hardware. Hooray! Thank you, Little T-Town, for the Ace Hardware. To see if he can fetch new fittings so this can work, so we can take a shower. So inside here, you know, we've been firing up the heater buddy with little propane tank to heat this up a little bit in here. And then You know, usually we like run this for a little while until it gets heated up, and then we plug this in there. So this is our shower in here. Anyway, so yeah, this has been working great, but we've been having some issues with too much air in the lines, which is creating havoc, and now it's not running at all, which is unfortunate. Mostly because just like Mike's been just spending so much time with this thing, and I'm just like, oh no, I was really hoping that was going to work for his sake. He was also in the middle of another project when I started hooking up the shower, expecting it to just be a plug-and-play situation. Turned out not to be the case, so I just pulled him off of this other project he's working on, which looks like he's creating this sort of scaffolding, not scaffolding, but this framework actually to put this tarp on to cover this carport tent to keep the lumber dry. So I'll just cover that while I'm out here walking around. So I think he's planning to, yeah, attach some wood bracing to this to flop over here. Here's all of our lumber for the sauna. Well, I mean, not all of it, but a lot of it. And I think he'll have to do more over time, but this will be our wall cladding. And so we've decided to run an experiment and leave these tents up this year since we're here for the winter. So as you can see, he put in extra bracing and also bracing up here. So we added all this wood to the metal pole system so that this can withstand the snow load and not collapse, right? that's the hope and the dream there. And so like this tarp is covering over like the tarps that came with the carport itself. So we're protecting that, and now this will protect this. Because here's the thing that I'm learning out here, because our lives are greatly supported by tarps. Tarp technology is a real thing. And so he and I recovered this one. This has a few different tarp layers on it. So this is our tool tent. And yeah, tarps just, they have a shelf life. Yeah. So, and all sorts of different types of weather beat up tarps, you know, wind, rain, sun, all of it. So there's just, they have a limited lifespan, as anything does. I'm a little surprised that tarps don't hold up a little better, but it's just how it is. So as you can see here too, let's see if I can get out my little light. So he added all this bracing also. Oh, interesting. He's a genius. Okay, I'm like, how did he attach all that up there? Anyway, so he added all this bracing again so that this tool tent, which little bit of a mess right now, and that's all right, that this can, yeah, withstand the snow load and hopefully stay up and erect this winter. This is also where we store like kindling and our sticks and our generator. This is our little generator. So we are now at the point of the year where like we pretty much get zero sun. We got a little bit in the solar panels this weekend. We're now at the time of year where we're powering up our batteries for electricity inside the cabin solely on the generator. So it's been overcast, and so we learned our cycle is like, I fire up the Jenny like at 5 p.m., let it go for an hour and a half, and that's enough for us. We do that once a day. So that's what works for us to power up our 2 batteries on the inside, and that's what all of our electricity runs off of. And so we've got the small refrigerator, our cell phone antenna booster, and then charging up our devices, and you know, a couple lights, you know. So we have a very simple setup. So an hour and a half a day on the generator, and that generator typically, so it's like a gallon. So I kind of worked out the math. So we run we can get like 2 to 3 charges off of 1 gallon of gas. So when I did the maths recently, I came up with like, it's approximately $45 in petrol a month for our electricity. So, so that's not, you know, as far as electricity goes, you know, $45 a month, not too bad. Maybe we'll just at least peek our head in here. So here's the thing. Oh, Mike, this poor guy. I mean, he has been out here, I mean, probably 2 weeks just doing insulation. And the carnage from all of the foam blocks that he has been meticulously fitting into such things as the ceiling, and let's scooch around here into, this is the sauna itself. So there's, you know, block insulation, which we covered in a different video, on the other side of all of this shiny foam like sheeting. So, and then there's all the blocks up top. But this is such a custom situation. He had to sculpt and shape every single foam block. And look, it looks like that one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 just in that bay right there. Anyway, so it's just been a lot of work. And the carnage from the foam is a real thing happening. So this is something I actually just recently covered in a blog post on our emptymountain.org website, which is that when you reuse materials and stuff you have around and you're just like making do with what you have, which is amazing. We got a lot of this gifted to us from friends and family, and our good friend Chance and our wonderful brother and sister-in-law Charles and Laura, they gifted us a lot of these materials, and so that's amazing. And it also just creates a lot more work because it's not, he's needing to make everything work, which just takes a lot more time and energy. It's time and energy we have and we're willing to put into it, and but yeah, he's ready to be done with these insulation blocks, which makes so much sense. He's just like covered in insulation dust. He's wearing a mask. He's been out here working by headlamp until sometimes 9, 10 o'clock at night, because he's just kind of like in the flow of it and wants to keep going. And then, I mean, it's got to be easily a good couple of weeks of him out here every day for quite a few hours just doing the insulation blocks and carving each one to size. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be super worth it. I have learned enough to know that like any time and energy and effort you put into like better insulating your buildings, like super worth it. Regardless of what kind of climate you live in. So, you know, just while I'm out here walking around. So we just did a compost load with our loo buckets yesterday. Okay, so we're at 50 degrees, which is not too bad. I mean, it's doing something in there. It's starting. I think it's like around 36 degrees out right now. We're just kind of taking this one step at a time as far as like how to manage our compost pile over the winter, because we anticipate it freezing, and also our loo buckets freezing because we store them outside. And so it's like, well, we'll see how that goes as far as getting all the contents out and loading the pile. And I just, you know, saw the weather coming up and I was like, how about we just do a small load now of the buckets that we did have, just while the conditions are kind of pretty decent out. And so we did that yesterday. So that's always satisfying work to do. I'm listening to ravens overhead. They've been really active here. Ravens and crows are my people, so super happy about having ravens here very actively. And also the gray jays, those are like close friends here, and they've been coming down to the bird perch. We put out peanuts for them, and so that's been nice that we have some friends that are still out and about in the winter, the ravens and the gray jays, so that feels nice. Alright, so that's the update for now. Thanks for following along. We appreciate sharing our adventure out here in the woods at the Empty Mountain Village. And hopefully Mike will be successful in finding some fittings that work for the shower. We'll get that going. Have a good day, everyone.